Hello! I apologize for the 2-week hiatus. There was AkiCon one weekend, which I let you guys know about that I wasn't going to make a video. And then I was super sick well into earlier this week. Like the snot coming out of all of my face holes kind of sick. So I didn't think you guys wanted to see that. Today's review is Berserk, the anime. So this one was made way back in the day, probably before a lot of you started watching anime. This was made in 1997 to 1998. So when this came out, there was hardly any internet or anything to let you know if this show sucked or not. You know, and everything was available in VHS. And so you picked your series depending on how well the cover of the VHS was. Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about? No? It's because you're too young. I still remember the days I would pick up the VHS of El Hazard, The Magnificent World, and I would stare at the cover. I would have to make 5 different trips to stare at the cover to decide whether I wanted to buy it, because back then, like, a VHS tape with 2 episodes was like $40 or $50. Jesus, like, how old was I? What kind of young teenager has $45? Oh, you guys stand with the 99%! But anyway, I didn't watch this back in the day because, judging from the cover, I totally thought that the art kind of reminded me of things like Ninja Scroll. So I never watched it. Until now. When I watched the first beginning episodes, I was thinking, this is great! And nostalgic. It was like back in the day when you would animate the fight scenes like this. By just moving a camera across a picture. It was the same kind of cell-style shading that you found back in those Fatal Fury movies. I really liked those. I really like those. And I did watch most of it dubbed. I did watch some episodes in Japanese, but I kind of like the dub better. A lot of the early 90s stuff actually did have good dubbing. All I know is that when I used to watch things dubbed back then, I didn't feel like a stupid shipknicker while I was watching it. Yeah. So Berserk is about a wandering mercenary. And the anime just kind of shows from his early stages of life up until he meets this guy who kind of looks like a woman, kind of has the long hairs like the women's, which I'm pretty sure that inspired a lot of weird doujinshi. And there becomes a rivalry between these two. And what starts as a healthy rivalry just kind of turns into... But you know, I really liked the main character. He was like badass. He's kind of like Zoro from One Piece, like where he's just like, I don't care, I'll chop off my own legs and then I kill you. Steals a woman's heart. You bled for me? Oh. So in the middle of watching the series, I was told, do not watch the last few episodes. Do not watch the last few episodes. And after watching them, I agree. Like, I know this is kind of strange because this is supposed to be a Berserk anime review. Read the comic. Let's read it together. So Berserk anime, you were great, but I'm gonna leave you for the Berserk comic because the Berserk comic has a bigger turtle shell. Now today's word is the word for ambition because really, Guts has a lot of ambition. Ambition is YASHIN. So if you want to say that this person is very ambitious, person in Japanese would be HITO. You would literally say person who has ambition, which is Yashin ga aru hito. Cold spaghetti!